24 hours straight.
Just imagine if they had Mark Andrews, how much more dominant they'd be. We've seen it.
Cry your way out of the wild card round, because the season is over. Welcome back to another episode of the In the Huddle podcast. I'm Sam. This is Chris. We like cookies. I hope you had a good holiday. Let's roll the intro.
You're listening to In the Huddle with Sam Gold and Chris Rotundo.
All right, Sam, let's start off with the 49ers and Ravens Monday Night Football from last night. And the Ravens absolutely squashed the 49ers. And they also squashed away Brock Purdy's MVP hopes with Lamar Jackson not only being the favorite for MVP, it's his award now.
Are the betting odds, is it switched this morning to officially Lamar Jackson in first?
It switched. He's the favorite,
wow.
And it's clear cut at this point.
That just proves time after time, sorry to cut you off, just how brutal the MVP race gets. You can be favored for, Brock Purdy must have been favored ever since he beat the Cowboys, right?
Yes.
And just one bad game. Mind you, he had 4 picks. At least 2 of those were tip balls, so it was kind of unlucky. And, you go a lot based on head-to-head matchups. We had the Dak versus Purdy debate a few weeks ago, and I said they're definitely going to pick Purdy because they played each other and the 49ers won. So it's crazy to think that the Ravens... It's crazy to think Lamar's going to have 2 MVPs, possibly, especially if they beat the Dolphins.
And the Ravens sitting probably going to lock away the 1 seed here in the AFC, and they don't even have Mark Andrews, no J.K. Dobbins. Their best receiver right now is Zay Flowers, which is wild, a rookie wide receiver, and this Ravens team is doing this. Just imagine if they had Mark Andrews, how much more dominant they'd be. We've seen it, and the Ravens, what a story this is. It sucks being a Steeler fan, seeing them having this much success, but I have to respect it. And this is what a healthy Lamar Jackson can do. One who's more seasoned now, more experience underneath his belt. And the 49ers on them. Injuries plagued them this past game. Bad luck. Listen, it happens. If they run this back maybe in the Super Bowl, I don't think it's going to be this one-sided. I'd probably give the 49ers the edge. But that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about maybe. We're talking about now. And right now, 49ers, this isn't the type of loss you want to have this point in the season.
Yeah, I am absolutely shocked that I thought it was going to be this type of game, but flipped. Like, the fact that the Ravens went into Santa Clara with, up until the second half, a healthy 49ers team for the most part. I know Trent Williams was out for a little bit. That Brock Purdy, of course, got injured. Then really got benched, but I'm shocked. They've earned my respect fully. I have definitely respected the Ravens for the most part this season, but I thought, whatever team goes up against the Niners in the Super Bowl, because the Niners still are my pick to go to the Super Bowl, I thought they're just going to get destroyed. And I thought this was going to be a little bit of a precursor, especially at 49ers. That just, like we said earlier, it definitely ruins Brock Purdy's MVP, that debate. And I think we got to have another debate. This has got to be, Chris, right? Out of all the years that we've lived, this has to be the worst MVP race there's been so far. Bar none, right? This has got to be the worst options we've had to choose from, at least for quarterbacks, because I've still seen people really not considering Christian McCaffrey or Tyreek Hill. I don't understand. Look, Lamar, props to him, just beat the Niners in a huge game. He's been playing well this season, but he's still not nearly what he was. Well, he's just not what he was in 2019.
I agree.
Let's be real, and that's when he won MVP. You got to give it to someone else, and they're not going to do it, and that's going to make for probably one of the worst outcomes of an MVP race we've seen in quite some time.
I agree and disagree with you saying that this is probably the worst MVP race. It's a quarterback award, and I hate having to say that.
Well, then it's the worst quarterback award race we've had.
It's just one of those things, because you can make the argument, say Tyreek, McCaffrey, I understand all that, but even the quarterback options, every week it flip-flops, but it's also interesting in that regard, because you can sit here and make the argument that McCaffrey deserves it more than any quarterback. Or you can sit here and make the argument that Lamar deserves it more than anyone else. There's a bunch of debates to be said. There's not one clear-cut guy at this point in regards to, is it McCaffrey, Tyreek, or Lamar? Those are the 3 guys who I think need to be in consideration. Brock Purdy got taken out. The week before that, it was Dak Prescott who got taken out. And Another thing is, even with the 49ers getting squashed, McCaffrey still had a great game, 100 yards in the ground.
Yeah.
He did his receiving stuff. But if I'm to sit here and not think about like a quarterback award, it's between Lamar and McCaffrey. Those are the two guys who it has to be between at this point if you're not going to look at it as a quarterback award, which sadly this is a quarterback award when you look into that way. But
I think you slipped Tyreek in there 100%. For me, it's really close between him and McCaffrey. And the reason I give the slight edge to Tyreek is because it was proved a few weeks ago against the Titans. The second he got out, their offense couldn't do anything. You know, you still got Debo, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and that great offensive line if Christian McCaffrey goes out. Of course, they're not going to score as many points, but I don't know. It's very close when it comes to those two. And, luckily for Brock Purdy, there's still a small chance because he gets to have a pretty easy rest of his schedule. I believe he plays the Commanders and then the Rams. Okay, the Rams aren't easy.
Listen, the way if people want to see Brock Purdy win, the 49ers need to win out, and the Ravens need to lose.
They play the Dolphins.
And if the Ravens lose one more game, then you can have that debate. But as long as the Ravens win out, Lamar's MVP, and we just have to live with it.
That's crazy.
And it's going to be
That's
interesting
fucking
to see what this team does in the playoffs now. So the playoff picture is kind of being more and more settled. We can see the puzzle pieces fitting together. But, Sam, if you're ready to move on to another team who the puzzle pieces can get fit together here shortly, I am ready to.
Yeah, we're reminiscing about a Lamar MVP, which was about 4 years ago. Let's go just 2 years ago to the Super Bowl champions, the Los Angeles Rams, who had a disaster of a season last year. And now we're sitting here after Week 16, and it looks like they're one of the best teams in the NFL right now, at least offenses.
Yep.
Their defense can get shaky at times, but we've said this for a couple weeks now, Chris. Matt Stafford has had some of the best stat lines he's had, best passer ratings. He looks completely healthy. Cooper Kupp has had a few issues with drops, but here and there. But it doesn't matter because
Puka,
because Puka is going to save the day. He comes in, he has his best game of the season. He's winning people fantasy, semifinals. Like, if they're all healthy, just like the Niners, like I'm interested to see this Week 18 battle, not because of division implications, because the 49ers already clinched the division, but just to see like a healthy Rams team this late in the season, will they match up with one of the higher ups of the NFC?
And we know they know exactly how to
Possibly.
win a championship. They have all the pieces from Stafford, Kupp, Aaron Donald. They have all those guys from last year who were able to win them a championship. So they have the experience in the playoffs.
Kyron Williams, another great asset.
They know exactly how to win. So it's not like you're missing any of those guys. You have the same coach. So all the core pieces from that Super Bowl team are still intact. Now you bring in new guys like Puka. So this Rams team, don't sleep on them. It is a little confusing because the Rams, we've been saying it, they're one of the hardest teams to predict. Are they good? Are they bad? They'll flip-flop. They'll win one, lose another, win two in a row, lose two in a row. But you get them when they're hot late in the season like this and offense is clicking, and they're one of the most dangerous teams because, you have Cooper Kupp. Don't sleep on Puka. You have Kyron Williams. You still have Matthew Stafford, who, when healthy, he's easily a top 10 quarterback in the league, especially you give him these two star wide receivers. They have the weapons to do it. It's just a matter of can it all click at the right time right now.
Yeah, they were moving the ball at ease on Thursday Night Football. The Saints, I don't really want to talk about the Saints. They're just a shit show. I hate watching the Saints, but look, you take advantage of a team like the Saints and you look that good, that means you're a good team.
And with the Saints, really quick, I know fans are calling for Jameis Winston. It's one of those things that is Jameis really going to be that much better than Carr? He'll be more fun and he'll throw the ball way deeper, but at the same time, he's also going to make more risky plays when he's going to have more turnovers. So there's a reason that Winston isn't starting right now. The coaches see him every day in practice. They know partially because they paid Derek Carr is being paid that much money. That's also part of it. But at the same time, this close in a division race, we have to look and think they're going to put out the guy who they feel is going to give them the best chance to win. So that's why
it's just a more interesting way to get to the same result, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you're going to have just more.
It doesn't really matter.
More big plays, but at the same time, more plays resulting in turnovers as well.
Chris, I think we can move on though pretty quickly.
Seahawks, another team that's turning their season around right now.
I said it a few weeks ago. Speaking of the Rams, when they played the Rams, I believe it was week 12, week 13, and they lost that game to go to 6-4. And then we went through the rest of their schedule. I'm like, they're not going to make the playoffs, and that included the fact that I thought they were going to lose to the Eagles, and then lose this past week too. And guess what? They were down 17-13 in both games. I picked the Titans to win this week, and props to them. Both games, the last 2 weeks, down 17-13 in the final minute. They get a game-winning touchdown. Now, the Seahawks might not be the best team in the world, but you got to give it to them. Their offense has been clutch lately, and their defense has been putting them in situations where they can at least stay in games. And you know what? I think that right now, with the way the NFC is going, with the Vikings kind of destroying themselves, the Packers are still hanging in there, but not looking great. Seahawks, man, they might have just slipped their way back into the playoffs.
This all goes back to coaching with Pete Carroll. He's Super Bowl winning head coach. He's been through it all: playoff wins, playoff losses, division battles. So this is why the Seahawks are in the race right now and not completely out of it, because you have a head coach like Pete Carroll, a guy who is top 3 coach in the league right now. I'd put him. So
yeah,
I'm a big Pete Carroll. I'm a big Pete Carroll guy.
You like the gum chewer?
I love Pete Carroll.
He's like 73.
I know.
Isn't that wild?
He looks great.
How do you not have health issues at that age? Like, I couldn't imagine coaching and like that's why I worry about like Andy Reid all the time.
That's what happened to me.
You just can't yell at that age. Like, I don't understand how you could take on the stress. Like, he must be one of the healthiest guys out there, because I don't even know how you take on the stress of being head coach at 73.
He's been taking care of himself.
I can't even handle the stress of fantasy football, and I'm 22 sitting on a podcast sitting the whole day.
You look at Pete Carroll and you think,
like an idiot.
Taking care of your health when you're younger, it's going to pay off dividends right there. But this is a football
Chris,
podcast.
yeah, you're going to be Pete Carroll. I'm going to be Andy Reid.
This isn't a podcast about Pete Carroll's physique. But
I wish it was.
I really give it all down to coaching. He knows how to rally the troops. You have DK Metcalf becoming a veteran wide receiver. Lockett,
who has the better physique, DK Metcalf or Pete Carroll?
Pete Carroll.
Okay, good.
You bring in a good receiver, JSN, who's been getting more run later on.
He's fantastic.
Geno Smith, a little shaky to start out the year. How is he going to come out after that big year, gets the contract? And he's playing maybe not the same level as last year, but around the same, when he's able to win them games, but he's not this superstar quarterback. But he's doing fine. He's doing what the Seahawks ask of him when you give him the weapons. You have Kenneth Walker. So they have the weapons in place, and you have the head coach able to guide them.
Look, the Seahawks.
This all comes down to coaching at the end of the day.
Seahawks last season, 9-8, 7th seed. What they're on track for right now, 9-8, 7th seed. So you kind of got what you asked for, Geno Smith. So at least you're not going to miss the playoffs, most likely. Mm-hmm. So
and if you're
just be happy you won these 2 games.
If you're a Seattle fan, you don't have Super Bowl aspirations right now. You don't think your team's a Super Bowl team, because it's not. You need to get a better quarterback if you want to start thinking that. Maybe 1 or 2 more guys on the defense, but you're getting the most out of this team right now. You're being competitive, winning games. You made it through the gauntlet of a schedule that you just had, and you're still in the mix of the playoff race when a lot of people, Sam, thought that they were going to be dead and just out of it. That's not the case.
I've been proven wrong way too many times this season.
But that's the fun of it, because no one knows. Headed into last night, I was telling you, if the 49ers won, the Browns had a path to the 1 seed. And look at that. Then everything got flip-flopped in his head, and
Joe Flacco is still alive for the 1 seed, but not Patrick Mahomes. What world are we living in?
This is the crazy.
We're not even really going to talk about the Browns. I mean, the fact that they're still up for the 1 seed and Joe Flacco is quite possibly a top 5 quarterback right now. It's insane.
There's a revenge game next week.
There's so much shit going on.
The Browns and Jets on Thursday night.
That's right. And last year, when Joe Flacco was in that stadium, when he was the Jets player going against the Browns, remember he had that big comeback at the end of the game, and he got the game-winning touchdown. Garrett Wilson.
Circle moment.
I don't know. We'll see.
It's just been wild this entire season. Between we had Josh Dobbs, we had
everyone's having at least 1 or 2 games of spotlight.
We have
which
Dobbs,
is nice.
Tommy DeVito, and now it's Joe Flacco. I want to
Tyson Bagent. People forgot about him already.
I want to see the Joe Flacco thing extend into next year.
Mason Rudolph. Everyone's having a good game.
We've just been seeing it time and time again. Rudolph, Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
The cards all came together for that. But, Sam, are you ready to move on?
Other than Ravens-Niners, this was the game of the week. Cowboys-Dolphins.
My favorite Christmas gift ever. The Cowboys losing on Christmas Eve, it was a great early Christmas gift.
People would say the Chiefs losing is probably a better Christmas gift, but I'm happy you still taking on the Cowboys.
This was the greatest Christmas gift.
Thank you for taking away some of the hate from the Chiefs.
So, game-winning field goal. Dolphins win it. No time left on the clock. And this is a game win. Listen, you would think 2 of these teams, 2 of the best offenses point per game wise in the league, going into it, there's going to be offense being played. That wasn't the case. It was defense. Offense really wasn't there. And
I would say it was a lot of bend don't break. I would say it was enough offense to make you enjoy the game.
But there was
tons of field goals.
We didn't have the touchdowns like everyone was expecting.
Yeah. Did you see Jason Sanders' reaction at the end of the game when he hit the game-winning field goal? He's like, who does that? You only can do that if you score 5 touchdowns. Like, what kicker is everyone like this counting his field goals?
Look at him here.
Oh, this is it. Yeah, he was doing it there. Exactly. It's just funny to see that reaction. Like,
he was feeling himself.
You can't do that these are my favorite uniforms in the NFL, but you can't do that in those uniforms. Come on.
Well, he just.
What are you wearing? You're not wearing Raiders uniforms or. You're wearing aqua. You can go like this.
Listen, let him enjoy it because this is the only winning team that they'll be able to actually beat.
Well, they're gonna get destroyed by the Ravens. Probably.
Yeah.
Although the Ravens, they had that horrible. Speaking of week 2, we're getting Jets Browns revenge week 2 from last year. Week 2 Ravens Dolphins in Baltimore as well. And that was the game that the Ravens blew. Remember that? Tyreek had like 7 touchdowns.
As much of a critic at the beginning of the season, the end of the season, man, it's given you way more than we would have thought.
Other than the Chiefs, of course. It's overall, as a football fan, there's been a lot better moments.
With the Dolphins, Tyreek, he had 99 yards. He was quiet this game.
9 for 99.
It was the first quarter and a half, it seemed. Waddle goes out with injury, but they're still able to manage this. But you have to rely on your other weapons, which they were able to, and able to squeeze out a victory here last minute. The Cowboys, they were looking good a few weeks ago with the 1 seed, and now that 1 seed, that just dissipated in front of their eyes. You love to see it. Eagles got a big win, which puts them back in the division lead. And if you're Dallas, I'm really just thinking right now.
It's just such a perfect Dallas way to go out this season.
What's going to happen? Because this is a major loss. You don't really have that much momentum now headed into the playoffs, even though you're 2 weeks away. Say you win out. I don't know what their remaining 2 games are. I haven't checked it. Do you know what their next 2 games are?
Lions and Commanders. So they could split that and end, 11-6?
But say if they go 2-0 in those games right there, how much momentum do they really carry into the playoffs? You beat the Lions, and then you beat a bad team, the Commanders.
I mean, you got to walk into Tampa coming into the wild card game? We're going to get to the NFC South in a second. I mean, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are kind of like the Rams right now. Their offense looks a little bit unstoppable. Baker Mayfield looks better than he ever has. I don't know. Cowboys can very well get upset. I mean, they went into Tampa last year against Tom Brady and killed them, so there's always a chance, of course, but I don't know. This game really screwed it up. Good for the Dolphins, though. I was definitely rooting for the Dolphins over the Cowboys because...
You know, especially from last week's episode, how big I am on what teams are carrying momentum into the end of the season, which teams are winning, which teams are losing. Like, for example, the Buffalo Bills, they have a ton of momentum. Another close victory this past week, but nonetheless, a 3rd win in a row, big win carrying momentum. The Cowboys on the opposite end, they just lost another game. There seems to be no momentum there.
It's a heartbreaker too. That's gonna get in your heads.
And those hurt way. Those heartbreakers hurt way more than getting blown out like that. I just don't know where they go from here because even if they beat the Dolphins and even if they beat the Lions and the Commanders.
Oh no, it doesn't matter at this point.
I wouldn't even feel good.
At this point, they've proven enough of that they've been the same Cowboys the entire last 3-4 seasons. We just got to wait for the playoffs at this point. Even if they beat the Bucs, they're going to head to San Francisco for the 80th time? Cowboys fans, you come on. We all know this is going to end.
We know the story. It happens every year, so.
Look, I will share the pain with you. I don't think we're going to do anything in the playoffs, but just, come on. You know the truth. You know the truth, Cowboys fans. Look, we're like the 2 most hated fan bases in the NFL, or teams. So.
Let's move on to a division that is very exciting. We hinted at it. Tampa Bay Buccaneers leading right now. The NFC South. What a division race. Falcons destroyed the Colts last week.
Wow, I did not realize the Panthers had 13 losses. Yeah. I hate losing. Imagine doing it 13 times.
And what sucks is they don't. It's not even like you can try and console yourself and say, okay, at least we have our 1st round draft pick. We're gonna get the first overall pick. You don't even have a 1st overall pick, so it's not even you can sit here and say they're trying to lose.
I will cut Bryce Young some slack. He looked really good against the Packers. I think he's actually looked a lot better the last few games, and I don't think it's Bryce's fault. I think he still has that star power in him, but if it's like a Jets situation where they just continue to not really build a good team around him, it's gonna bring his confidence down. So I'm hoping, even though they don't have a 1st round pick, that they can just do something to make their team a little bit better next year, because I really do think there's been glimpses this year of Bryce Young looking like Bryce Young. So I don't want him to be a bust. I like the Panthers.
There's no need to be worried about Bryce Young. It's his rookie year. Rookie quarterbacks statistically are among the worst quarterbacks in the league every single year.
The Panthers would have beat the Chiefs by 16 points this week.
Their best wide receiver is an old Adam Thielen. So the Panthers this offseason, they just need to go out there. They might have to overpay for a guy, but get a wide receiver. Use T. Higgins.
I don't know if anyone's with me on this. I don't know why I could just picture T. Higgins in a Panthers uniform. like number 5. I don't know. He's such a Panther.
They're going to go out there and they're going to get another receiver for him, but I'm not worried about Bryce Young. But this division, if you're a fan of the Bucs, Saints, or Falcons, you have a lot to be worried about. That's where you need to be worrying because either one of these teams can fall out of the race.
I think
I
Saints fans usually seem to hold out some hope, but they're probably not going to have much hope left because Derek Carr sucks. The fan base I know that knows it's over is the Falcons. They hate Arthur Smith. I've seen it all over online. Like, they just want Arthur Smith gone as soon as possible. How funny would it be? It's going to be the Bucs. It's going to be the Bucs.
If the Falcons are the team to get in and they keep Arthur Smith because he's on the hot seat right now.
No, I think at this point in the season, the Falcons fans, they have to root to lose right now. They don't want to be in a playoff game. They know that's how they keep Arthur Smith.
If the Falcons win out, they make the playoffs, I'd be so mad at the Falcons fans.
The Falcons need to win next week. And then just lose an absolutely, have a blunder of a game where they're, up by 3 scores in the third quarter, and then they blow it just so Arthur Smith can get fired. That's best case scenario, Falcons fans. I know it sounds painful, but you know it's better for the long run.
We heard everything, and in that first drive, it was like, Bijan, Kyle Pitts touchdown. It was like he finally decided to listen to the fantasy guys. And how shocking is it when you play and you get the ball into your best player's hand? It's like good stuff happens. I know it's a crazy theory. You give the ball to your best players and good things will happen. It's insane to think you give it to Kyle Pitts. Let's hand the ball off to Bijan Robinson. What? He's gonna make positive yards?
I think someone goes and drugs Arthur Smith before the draft starts, so he doesn't know who he picked. He just sees these guys. He's like, oh yeah, they're just numbers to me.
I've never seen.
It's so I know who Michael Pruitt is. Let me pass it to him instead.
It's like, what do you have Bijan out there, this star running back out there running decoy routes?
Mac Hollins has some cool hair. Let me pass it towards his way.
And then you just have
use your guys.
And you have Jonnu Smith getting these 50-yard touchdowns. Yeah. It's
on the screen. I remember that touchdown.
Yeah. Being a Falcon fan sucks. Chick-fil-A isn't even open in your stadium on game day, which is even more pitiful for being a Falcon fan.
What a waste of a nice stadium.
Why would you put a Chick-fil-A there and it's not even going to be able to be used?
Every time I see Younghoe Koo kicking a field goal, there's way more empty red seats than fans. It's so funny to see every time there's a field goal.
You put a Chick-fil-A in the stadium so it can be used, but I don't know whose idea it was. Let's put the restaurant that's closed on Sunday in the stadium when all of our events are happening on Sunday.
They don't want their fans to enjoy anything, not even a nice chicken sandwich.
They couldn't even enjoy that Super Bowl. Anyway, all right. AFC South, another division that is even crazier of a race. We have 3 teams tied at 8-7. The Jaguars are having a colossal collapse for the end of the year between injuries, quarterback play. And then the Colts, they had a big loss this week, which was not good. But you still are in the race, even losing your star quarterback. And then you have the Texans. No C.J. Stroud for a second week. You lose to a hot Joe Flacco this week without C.J. Stroud. They need him back right now. So injuries right now and just inconsistent play are plaguing all 3 of these teams. This is the most exciting race I've ever seen.
Luckily,
in this season,
for the Jags, they host the Panthers this week. And for the Texans, they host the Titans. So it kind of feels like at least those 2 teams hopefully will be 9-7 going to the final week. Who do the Colts play? I don't know who the Colts play. I could pull it up right now.
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Man, the Colts had a tough loss. I really thought they were going to beat the Falcons, and Gardner Minshew just had a really bad game. The Colts play the Raiders, who, of course, we're going to talk about in a little bit. But I don't know about that one for the Colts. They might have just sealed their ticket out of the playoffs with that loss to the Falcons.
It's close. I mean,
Yikes.
People are all here talking about the MVP race, but this is the race that I'm most interested about because there's actually no telling. Because Stroud should come back this week. Trevor Lawrence, maybe he'll pick it up next week.
Listen, here's the thing.
I don't even know.
Let's say the Colts win. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. All 3 of those teams are going to be 9-7, and then of course they play each other because it's Week 18. It's all divisional games. Texans play the Colts, so that game could be for a 7th seed right there. And then the Jags, they just got to beat the Titans.
The Titans would so be the team to play.
Yeah. Oh my, it's at Titans too.
There is always that,
Jags fans, you have to beat the Panthers or you got no chance.
There's always that one team that's playing for nothing, but you're playing your division rival. So why not beat them and knock them out of the playoffs or knock them out of 1 or 2 seeds?
I think I would rank in any given season the Titans as the last team I'd want to play in Week 18 as a spoiler team.
And
they're such a spoiler team.
It would still be the Derrick Henry 218-yard rushing 3-touchdown game that everyone just sees coming.
And their defense gets like 8 sacks.
It's just the first quarter, and you're just sitting there like, oh, Derrick Henry breaks away a 65-yard touchdown.
No, it's not even that. It's where he does the wildcat and then he throws the pass. Mm-hmm. He did that. He did that this week against the Seahawks.
Chigakonkwo.
Yeah, he does that all the time. He's done that against the Chiefs like 3 times.
Chigakonkwo, by the way, such an underrated tight end this year.
Are his stats that good though? I like him, but I feel like he hasn't done that much.
He's a solid tight end. He's no Kate Otten though.
Yeah, I was about to say
he's a solid tight end.
If you want to talk about underrated, he's rated. He's perfectly rated at number 1 for tight ends. Kate Otten. And then O'Keefe number 2. Actually, O'Keefe's a fullback. So he got a touchdown against the Packers. O'Keefe, love that.
Kate Otten is exactly who Gronk thinks he is.
Wait, O'Keefe and Kate Otten are on the same team, and I didn't even just think about that. You know what? Bucks Chiefs Super Bowl rematch. Let's go. I wouldn't even be mad if Kate Otten beat us.
Kate Otten touchdown Wildcat.
If Kate Otten scores in the playoffs, we have to wear his jerseys the next week. 100%.
We get Kate Otten tattoos.
But just of his ankles. All right. Let's go. What do we have next on the slate?
Half of the ankle on one arm, half on the other.
Chris, I'm going to hand a cookie at you. All right, come on.
Have a cookie.
Come on.
Some ASMR for the boys.
If you tell me to have a cookie, look at me. If you tell me to have a cookie, I will have a cookie.
Have another cookie.
No. It's so good.
Al, you want a cookie?
No. This must be what a fantasy football victory tastes like. I'll never know what it tastes like.
Oh, yeah, you lost your fantasy.
I'll never know what it tastes like.
It's tough running for Sam this week in fantasy.
11 seasons, over 30 leagues. Never made the finals.
Have another cookie, Sam.
But at least I can have a cookie.
He opens up a pint of Ben & Jerry's from underneath the table. All right.
Oh, I hate you, Breeze.
You want to talk about the team that's going to go 9-8?
Since it's your team, let me finish the cookie. You talk about them.
All right, Pittsburgh Steelers, some Christmas magic behind Mason Rudolph. They score over 30 points. They beat the division rival Bengals. Who would have thought? Definitely not me. I'm not a Mason Rudolph guy, but Rudolph, Christmas Eve, the stars aligned.
He has a red nose because a helmet slammed into it.
Oh man, George Pickens, monster game. The first pass was like an 87-yard touchdown.
Wait, Chris, who am I? I'm Myles Garrett. I don't even know if I did that right.
It's gonna fall off. Anyway.
That was such great podcasting for the audio listeners. They don't even know what just happened. All right.
Come over to YouTube from the audio listeners. Come on, guys. But this is what we thought. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. What am I doing? But this is what we thought the Steelers' offense should be when it's clicking, scoring over 30 points every week. I don't even know what where to start with this right now, Sam. I'm just
listen.
frustrated.
They just catch us when we don't expect it. And I should have seen it coming. I fall for it every year. You can go back in 4 years of the podcast. I fall for it every single year. The Steelers have to go 9-8. This was such a spot where Jake Browning finally has his Linsanity run. There's been 20 Linsanity runs this year.
Browning,
and
over.
This one, it's over for Jake Browning. My dad also knows that his season's completely over. The Chiefs play the Bengals next week.
Yeah.
I'm not confident about that. So maybe not. But for the Steelers, are they going to get a 7th seed? I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Is Rudolph playing next week too?
Yeah, he got confirmed the starter. You go back and you
the George Pickens game as well.
Where the Steelers season ended, the Patriots and Cardinals. Those back-to-back weeks, right there. You win one of those games, you're most likely in the playoffs. But you know what? That's not going to happen anymore.
Yeah, I can't believe you lost those two.
I sure as hell can. We see it happen every single year with this team. And then we bring in our third string guy, Mason Rudolph, who I'm looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers fans wanting Mason Rudolph. But no, last year, when everyone said, why are we keeping Mason off and calling for his head and not wanting him, now you're backing him because he had one great game. Don't be switching up left and right. You either want him or you don't. Don't go back on him after he has one good game. I know he had this great game. I'm still not a fan. He's obviously... This is the one great game. Next week, he might have 3 interceptions and 200 passing yards. And everyone's going to say...
Oh, he will.
And everyone's going to... And don't be surprised if Mr. Trubisky steps in the fourth quarter. So this is exactly where it's going to be. We've seen this guy play over and over again. Why are people starting to hop on the Mason Rudolph bandwagon after 1 week? I just don't understand it.
Do the Ravens clinch the 1 seed if they beat the Dolphins next week and the Browns lose?
Um,
Okay, if that happens, then you guys would totally beat the Ravens backups in Week 18 and go 9-8 and miss the playoffs. That's exactly what's going to happen.
That's what I have happening. I have the Ravens, the Dolphins
in Baltimore too.
Yeah,
of
the
course.
Dolphins. I know the Dolphins and Ravens needed to win out, and whichever one won out would get the 1 seed.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay, yeah.
what I was doing, what I was leading up to is, dude, the Steelers to get 9-8. They're so losing next week against Seattle, and then Week 18
In Seattle?
Yeah, in Seattle.
So random.
This was our last home game of the year. Of course, save our best game for the last home game.
How do you feel about your team playing in Seattle?
It's gonna be wet.
I feel like that's never happened.
It happened.
Steelers at Seahawks. Interesting.
But the Ravens are gonna clinch the 1 seed. They're gonna have their backups there. They're gonna have their backups in, and what's gonna happen?
Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. I had to do one more.
Oh, we are so clipping that.
Shit, I wish I wasn't like this. I really would do. All right, go.
Check on Instagram Reels for that noise. Can we please put that on the reel?
Just the noise, nothing else. Not even the clip, just the noise.
Put it on a 15-day
Just
loop.
confuse everybody that follows us.
15-day loop.
All right, go. We'll have Mr. Beast react to it. 24 hours straight.
Are we gonna get a Tesla?
24 hours straight. It sounds like a fire alarm.
Mr. Beast, please gift me headphones.
Now I'm actually really sorry for the audio listeners because now they're just getting you know what. Okay, go.
No, Ravens are going to have their... This is pointless. I mean, this happens. Anyway, Ravens are going to bench their starters. Steelers are going to get to 9-8. Mike Tomlin's streak of 500 or better seasons are going to continue. Same story next year. Maybe we'll win 9. Maybe we'll go 8-1 next year. I don't know. We just need a new quarterback, guys. But that's not going to happen next year. We're going to be stuck with Kenny Tiny Hands not having multiple touchdown games. I'm just so over this team. I know they won. I should be happy, but it's just hard to be happy when your third string guy shows it out. And you know what? I'm so happy that
Kenny Pickett, get ready to learn Chinese. I hate those fucking jokes, man.
I'm just happy that Pickens was taught how to block a receiver on a route.
Oh, good for you.
Good for him. He quietly.
No, Jalen Warren though.
Yeah.
He promised that he would block for George Pickens like that, and he actually followed through for it.
Yeah, good for him. But Pickens,
setting an example.
Quietly 1,000 yards this year.
Pickens?
Yeah.
No. Really?
Yeah.
I feel like he's went like at least 4 games with like 1 catch. I mean, I believe you. I don't even know why I'm gonna search it, but that's fucking crazy. All right. Good for you, George Pickens. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
1,009 yards. Wow. And he still has 2 games left. That makes no sense.
Quietly. Like, I feel if you look at this offense and how much we've complained, I wouldn't think we had a receiver
Well,
over
now,
700
well, now
yards.
you're going to have to pay him in a couple of years if he keeps that up. He's going to be like, look, we had our
Even
worst
with-
season. I still have 1,000 yards.
Even with how bad the quarterback play has been, for him to get over 1,000 yards like that,
That's crazy.
and you can't even say, "Oh, it's with the extra game." No, they've done it underneath the.
It's because every catch he has is like a 35-yard toe tap on the sidelines.
It
Like
helps.
a big touchdown.
It just helps that he's actually good at his sport.
Yeah.
I would love to see this team with a real quarterback.
Well, that's your Christmas wish. I guess we'll go to the game that was actually on Christmas. Chiefs Raiders.
Yeah, this was a Saturday game too.
What?
It was the Steelers game was a
Yeah,
Saturday game too.
game. Push it aside.
What a busy week that was.
Busy week, and what a busy first half this game was. First of all, starting with what was on the football? We gotta investigate that.
There was
something on that football.
There was
beginning of the game.
absolutely no offense this game. It was
Okay. Do you want to hear a stat that has driven me crazy about the Raiders in this game? Aiden O'Connell. Chris, guess how many passing yards Aiden O'Connell had after the 2-minute mark of the first quarter?
12.
He had 0. 0 completions. And we lost. 0. He had negative net passing yards. No completions.
I was trying to keep up with
Only
this game
running plays
as much as I could, and towards the I missed it. I was here and there with it, but I saw O'Connell on 2.5 fantasy points and they put up 20 points.
I don't get it.
I just, this season, the best way I can say it is this season's like drunk. That's how you have to describe it. You're telling me
Not the good kind, though.
And
2021 was the good drunk.
And you know
this
what's
is
crazy?
the bad drunk.
You complain about how much the Chiefs offense has how bad they've been. Point differential, they're among one of the top teams. And offensive
We are
points,
last in turnover differential, though, officially after this game.
offensive points scored, I think you guys are sitting 12th, which I would not have thought. 12th.
It's because of the first 7 games of the year where we started 6-1, and we had a couple bad games here and there, but we were still pretty decent at offense.
It's just wild, but I think that'll go to credit to show how good Mahomes is. Even with the worst season this offense has had, it's obviously not on him how good he is.
You know what? I'll give this game on him, though. I don't think he played particularly well. Now, we've seen the all-22s from this entire season. The reason why he's so hesitant and he has no trust in his receivers, you see him running around all the time, is because no one gets open. But they showed multiple times during multiple replays of this game where, it all goes back to his trust in his receivers, but there was guys wide open, and he just didn't throw it towards them, and he made bad decisions. He threw a horrible, what should have been a second pick, but then he dropped it at the end. He's got 14 interceptions on the year. I'm not letting him off on this game
Have
either.
they had like a team building?
I don't know. I've been
the wide
saying this for
receivers?
weeks. Do something. Go to therapy together. Walk on hot coals or something. I don't know. Whatever makes your mind. Take ayahuasca with Aaron Rodgers. Do something.
They go for group massages.
Group massages. I will massage you if I have to. Please. Do something to be better. I'm sick of watching the press conferences. They're like, I have to be better. I don't care. Stop taking blame. Actually go yell at your fucking teammates. You know what the funny part is? This was the worst offensive performance we've had all season, and Kadarius Toney was not even playing. He was not even playing. How do you take out the guy who I've had aneurysms on? I said that weird. Aneurysms on the entire season. He's lost about 3 games for us this year. And this was our worst performance. We gave up 6 points to the Raiders. 0 completions after the first quarter. And we lost by 6 points. How does that even happen? We must have sold our soul at halftime of the Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl. We're just cursed this year. We are absolutely cursed, Chris. I don't understand what's going on with the Chiefs.
It's
just driving me
it goes back to the wide receivers.
I have no answers anymore.
Because
But was it even them this game? Or was it fucking Andy Reid? Oh, great trick play touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco, I love it. But then you go out and you have him hand Mahomes a handoff on the next play where he just immediately fumbles it. Boom, 6 points. Next offense drive, first play. Terrible throw, interception, pick 6.
It's just one of those things that it's such a weird season for the Chiefs because I don't think anyone sits here and expects this Chiefs team to have one more win than the Steelers. How weird is it? Oh, you have a gift.
Oh, keep going. It's fine.
You have a gift. Is it for me?
Oh, what is this? Oh, it is a gift. That's weird. That's for what? Wait, what? Tissues? Wait. Oh, tissues aren't for me. That's for the Chiefs! That's for all the crybabies. There's Kelsey. There's Mahomes. There's Kadarius Toney. There's Andy Reid. There's our entire bench. There's everything for the entire season! Cry your way out of the wild card round! Because the season is over! Merry Christmas! We suck! Now you're gonna make me gain more weight because I'm sad!
Oh, man. We are witnessing the downfall of Sam every episode. We're just gonna see next week. We're gonna have more. He's gonna have more gray. He's gonna gain gray hairs and everything as the weeks go on.
I'm gonna go fucking crazy. I'm insane. I spent this morning wrapping that. Why?
You did a good job.
Christmas is over.
When you told your parents I have to wrap up this tissue box,
I had to take out the wrapping paper from the basement again. They put it away.
What did they say?
I was like, oh, where's the tape, scissors, and wrapping paper? I have a prop this morning. It's gonna suck. Seriously, though, we're a bunch of fucking crybabies. Kelsey throwing your helmet. Like, what are you doing? I love you, Kelsey, but you've been absolutely fucking useless this season. All right, we took a little detour. If something transitions, I have already went to a full therapy class, and I've downloaded Wii Fit. Too many cookies. I realized that I was way too out of breath after that rant, so now I'm going to play this game for the next week. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Chiefs.
You know what my favorite game on Wii Fit was? The ski slope.
I've never actually played Wii Fit, shockingly.
But it doesn't help when... like 8-year-old me tells me I'm obese and I'm like my Wii Fit age is like 55. That's just
Yeah, if I was
help.
obese at like 8, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna be now.
It's because I fell off the Wii balance board when I was doing my.
Wait, what
my
was your
test.
age? What was your age of Wii
It's
Fit?
like 55 or something.
Yeah, I was like
that.
61.
No, but it's
I was a Wii Fit age of 61.
It was so funny.
At 9.
It was like the balancing, you had to keep it in the middle. I fell off the board. It was so funny. I was detrimented. Is that the right word for that?
What? Detrimented?
Devastated. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Anyway.
This guy crashed you into Manhattan. You're right. No, okay.
Anyway.
Any last thing with the Chiefs? I mean, I just went nuts. I have the freaking tissues here now. You know what it is? It's just like, I don't know why I keep expecting things to be different. It's just like opening up a present that, like, you can tell. You know when you can tell the shape of the present when it's wrapped? And you're like, oh, this is definitely something that I requested. Like, you're thinking of all the things you put on your list. And, like, opening the Chiefs every week, it's just like, you know what you're getting, but I expect something different. And I'm just really sad and depressed. So, yeah, I hate the Chiefs this year.
We can't.
But I'll always love the Chiefs in general. So I don't really hate the Chiefs, but I just hate watching them absolutely waste another year of Mahomes.
Quote that.
Yeah. Is that not a fact that they're wasting a year of Mahomes this year?
Well,
We had a chance this year, Chris. I know this sounds like literally such spoiled people problems. It is. Totally is. I'm not denying that.
good problem to have.
No, it's a great problem to have. Look, listen, great problem to have. Don't get me wrong. But there was a chance this year to solidify the next dynasty in the NFL in our rival stadium. Super Bowl's in Vegas. And, I don't even think we're going to get out of the wild card. Perhaps if we lose our next 2 games, we're not even going to make the playoffs possibly. So that's where we're at here in 2023. Not great.
The Chiefs headed into Week 16, not walking to the playoffs, is actually a crazy statement to say in the Mahomes era. But
most losses we've had so far 6. So look, listen, 6. That's great. You probably wish you went like 11-6. That's fine. I'm not really complaining. I'm just more upset that gosh, this is such a great season for the Chiefs haters, man. Like, there's just so much Baltimore material to make fun of us, which is fine. We're always going to be the most hated team as long as we're good. But
in some way,
it's sad to see, like, just an absolute collapse of this team's character. Like, they just don't even seem passionate anymore on the field. Mahomes, yes, he was yelling at his offensive line here and there. But it just seems like we got no energy behind this team. And then Kelsey throwing a fit on the sideline, Andy Reid getting mad at him. Just looks like everything's becoming a complete disaster. And, you know what? I'm just happy for next year. I know Brett Veach, our GM, is going to do an absolute overhaul in our wide receiver room. He likes to overcorrect things. That's what happened after Super Bowl 55 with the Chiefs-Bucks game. He complete overhauled our offensive line, and that was fixed. So, look, this is just one big blip in the radar of, this long 10, 15-year span of the Mahomes-Chiefs era. So, although it's frustrating in the moment, I'm going to have rage moments like this. I'll still always be a Chiefs fan. And look, we're still most likely going to make the playoffs. And you never know. You never know what happens when you make the playoffs. So it's not like it's completely over. But if I'm going to be completely unbiased, yeah, it looks like it's time to move on to 2024, unfortunately.
I wouldn't be shocked to see the Chiefs make the Super Bowl. As much as it doesn't
I know
seem that way, it just...
You feel that way? That's what I felt about the Patriots because it's just... They're the new team, but
So,
I'm telling you right now, Chris, I would be very shocked if we made the Super Bowl.
I guess
very
in my head, it's because the Patriots with Brady, I was so used to them winning every game and just dominating.
But when has their entire offense just collapsed like this? I've never seen something like this.
But now with the Chiefs, like, this is such an odd year for them that in my mind, I go back to the last few seasons, and it's like every week I just expect them to be putting up near 30 points. That seeing them struggle like this is hard to get my brain to wrap around it. I don't think it's...
Trust me.
I don't think it's the new
You're telling
normal.
me.
I really think it's just a one-year thing. They're going to go out there and they'll sign...
I do too.
You guys are going to draft another receiver, and you guys are also going to sign another guy.
I think...
It's what's going to happen this offseason.
I think next year is going to be perfect for us because, obviously, with how bad we're doing... I mean, we're still 9-6, but how bad we're doing compared to our own standards this year, it's going to be one of those years, just like 2 off seasons ago, where everyone's doubting us, and no one's going to pick us to win the Super Bowl, and... We know we're going to make our team better in the offseason, so I think there's going to be a lot of bulletin board material for Mahomes. He's going to be pissed. He's going to be like, finally I have some weapons. Our offense is going to look much better. So at least the bright side to this is that I think we're going to look a lot better in 2024. And, it's Week 16. I'm just going to enjoy the last couple games we have left, and, hopefully the Chiefs can make the playoffs, and I'll enjoy that. I'll try to stay a little bit more relaxed because I have to realize at this point that when your team goes to the Chiefs, you can't have it every year. And that's just me being spoiled, coming back down to earth. And that's okay. So, That's the Christmas spirit, right? This is the Christmas spirit. Right. I just scared Jasper. No way, Jasper. He won't eat it, right?
Oh, no, he will.
Oh, shit. All right. I'm sorry. Well, what can you do? All right, Christopher. While you get the wrapping paper, let's bring up a little Week 17 action. Scared the shit out of me. Okay, Thursday Night Football.
Are we doing that this week, or are we doing that?
Oh, shit. Should we do a second episode? That's the question.
Yeah,
Okay, you're right, guys. We're going to come back with another quick episode coming out around the same time this week of our Week 17 predictions.
Action.
Yeah, that's a cliffhanger right there. We'll leave you with a cliffhanger. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys next
guys.
episode. Bye-bye.